Hello everyone, Johnny Hurricane here from GamersHeroes.com, and why don't you sit back, relax, and let me tell you about Remnant from the Ashes. Before we go any further, a code was provided by the publisher. Remnant from the Ashes wears its Dark Souls inspiration on its sleeve. From the fan-favorite campfire-type approach to the checkpoints, to the fog-like doors that bar entry to the myriad of different bosses. Much of this inspiration is a boon to the game's intention, creating an immersive, challenging, and yet somewhat familiar environment, combining many of the Souls game's best attributes with a new, creative direction. One particular area in which Remnant suffers is the narrative. The story is solid, but it lacks variation, delivering small tidbits of story between missions and in short cutscenes. It lacks the depth of similar games in the genre, with hardly any collectibles, hidden lore items, or other details that you can find in the world. You just kinda gotta put things together yourself sometimes. That being said, there's still plenty of story to dive into. Earth has been completely taken over by the Root, an alien life form that has all but decimated human life on Earth. With mankind's determination and the affinity for technology, portals transport you to various worlds as you look to rebuild and fight back. Much of the journey is saving new allies, learning what you can, and moving on to bigger and badder threats. While Remnant from the Ashes may be somewhat lacking to the lore buffs, it more than delivers on those more interest in the Souls experience for its combat, progression, and difficult boss fights. Each of the game's environments are dynamically generated each playthrough. This results in a huge level of replay value and an aura of excitement and intrigue as you look to discover new loot and bosses previously missing in action on your first attempt. Earth, the first environment you explore, is a mix of sprawling city streets, dark and damp sewers, and a twisting network of subway tunnels. While the overarching design remains the same, the route, the enemies, and the rewards are different in each attempt. I completed Earth on 10 different occasions, and not once did I experience an identical combination of random events and boss battles. My first playthrough, I battled a giant tree and failed to save 2 NPCs from an onslaught of challenging enemies before finding a tree that didn't speak my language. On a different adventure, I battled with a fiery dragon, found a special mask, and discovered that same tree. However, this time, wearing the mask, I was able to talk with the tree, which unlocked some new equipment and a new trait. These intricately connected stories and events are incredibly satisfying and rewarding, featuring throughout the game on many different levels and changing each time you begin a new adventure on the same campaign. Remnant truly shines with its unique progression system and rewards. Your character enters the battle with a set of armor, primary weapon, secondary weapon, melee weapon, and an assortment of traits and mods, each contributing to a highly detailed yet completely transparent stat system. Weapons are entirely accessible for any character. You're not tied down by class choices or restricting archetypes, and each weapon can be improved and customized. Customization of the weapons comes in the forms of mods. These special abilities are pertinent throughout the entire game, but they can be the difference between life and death. As you fight with weapons, your mod will become powered, and eventually will allow you to use that powered up ability or a weapon modifier. I often found myself falling back on the explosive shot, a modification that lets you launch a grenade-like projectile into a group of enemies, but there are tons of mods available, many more exciting and fantastical than the last. While mods offer an instant degree of achievement and satisfaction, a greater level of pride comes with the advancement of traits. Whenever you unlock a new trait, it's automatically equipped to your character. Each trait offers substantial stat bonuses across the board, increased crit chance, improved reload speed, more armor, more melee damage. Nearly every stat can be heavily customized and influenced with a combination of traits and mods, allowing for an extensive build option and tons of variety. This is a plus, because you're gonna need it. Remnant from the Ashes leads the charge in delivery of enemy variety and challenge. The average frontline troops of the enemy can be shot down, chopped apart, and blown to smithereens with little effort, making you feel pretty unstoppable, at first at least. The frontline enemies grow in number, they evolve in abilities, and start attacking alongside elite enemies with more varied and stronger abilities. Just when you think there's nothing that the game can throw at you, you're pushed to your limits, struggling to survive that final encounter before making it to the next checkpoint. I've emerged successfully from about 14 different boss encounters. Each was challenging, exciting, and just waiting for one simple mistake to end it all, which happened more times than I care to admit. The latter aspects of the game do struggle with a lack of polish. There are regular reports of lost save progress, and the matchmaking function appears to be having issues on the Xbox One. and there are many players reporting that there was a game-breaking issue with the final boss. Now, we have beat the final boss and did not have a bug, so it is still possible to beat it, but just be wary that after the first couple of days of launch, there could still be some issues. Brilliantly crafted boss encounters, challenging enemies, immersive environments. Remnant from the Ashes has everything you could want from a Souls-inspired game, and more. Alright, that will do it for us. If you liked what you saw and got what you needed, like, comment, subscribe. See you guys in the next video. Later, Gators.